Good afternoon. On behalf of Mayor Brandon Johnson, Commissioner Reed, and the entire team at Chicago Department of Aviation, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to Concessions 101 Workshop Webinar. I am Russell Johnson, Assistant Commissioner with the Chicago Department of Aviation. I'm very excited to be here with you today. We are eager to provide the passengers with a world-class concession program at both O'Hare and Midway, providing the ultimate experience for both domestic and international travelers. We at CDA always strive to be innovators in our airport ecosystem, as well as go all out to bring the very best in concessions offering to our world-class airports. From our restaurants and shops, right up to the gate, our airport creates the first and lasting impression for our great city. We remain dedicated to bringing opportunities to our residents. We are committed to promoting equality and inclusion with our concessions contracts by focusing on diversity. And we are working diligently to bring new ideas, owners, and operators into the fold. I want to let my team shine for a little bit, so I'm going to leave it right there. You'll be hearing from our rockstar concessions team, including project administrators Daniel Perez, Davin Boyd, Mary Gallagher, and Adam G. They've put together an amazing presentation for you. At the end, you'll have time to ask questions, so please don't hesitate to ask. However, this presentation focuses on the basic points on how to respond to an RFP for concessions at O'Hare and Midway airports. It provides general best practices and thoroughly responding to an RFP. It is not specific to order up RFP or any RFP that CDA may release in the future. Please ensure that you carefully review any RFP for which you are preparing a proposal to ensure that you are addressing all requirements and specifics to that particular RFP. If you have any questions about the order of RFP, we will not be addressing those questions today, but you will get some information later on in the presentation on where you can go to gather more information about our RFP and concessions program. Thank you again for your interest in operating at O'Hare International Airport. And at that, I will pass it on to Daniel Perez, who will kick it off for us with preparation is key. Take it away, Daniel.
Thank you, Russell. My name is Daniel Perez, Project Administrator with the CDA, and I will give you some tips on how to best prepare for RFPs. Start off with preparing ahead of time. One of the best ways to prepare is to familiarize yourself with the concessions resource page. We will have more on the resource page later in the presentation, but it's really one of the best resources for the latest concessions, RFPs, and access to different resources. You're able to access this concessions resource page at flychicago.com/concessions resources. Also, to receive the most up-to-date news and updates, sign up for web alerts at flychicago.com/sign up. Also, the next piece of how to best prepare ahead of time, which I'm sure many of you are already doing, is networking. So networking is a key piece of building those important connections. Chat with the people that are in the industry, attend networking events, conferences, talk to other airports and airport concessionaires. We have here 3 different organizations that are great for networking, conferences, and resources. First one is ACI, which is the Airport Council International. We also have AXN, Airport Experience News, and then we also have AMAG, which is the Airport Minority Advisory Council, including chapter events. On your next trip, when you're traveling, take notice of the airport concessions. Take notice of the different type, the operation, design. Also, stay updated with trends in the retail and food and beverage industry. Think about these industry trends and where they're going and what could be potentially tapped into. An acronym that you should familiarize yourself with is ACDBE. It stands for Airport Concessions Disadvantage Business Enterprise. It's a minority certification that businesses could acquire if applicable. The FAA regulates airports and provides funding for airports. And it's through the FAA with this federal program that encourages minority participation through minority ownership and operation of concessions of the airport. Bottom line, if you qualify, get certified. And even if you don't qualify as an ACDBE, look into obtaining a small business designation if applicable. Also, visit the website that we have listed here for information on upcoming ACDBE workshops. It is www.chicago.gov/DPS-onsite. Currently, there's two of these workshops scheduled for November. November 19th at the Lincoln Belmont Public Library, and also November 20th at the West Chicago Avenue Public Library. Again, the link is, we have it here listed. And also it will be listed in the chat. All right, our next tip we have here is finding good advisors. Start with a financial advisor, typically a lending institution. Will be asking the proposal how you will be getting funding for your build out in the airport. Also an attorney, there'll be lots of legal documents to review and to understand. So an attorney it'll be helpful to have at your side. An accountant, they play an important role when preparing a proposal. Also, think about maybe perhaps hiring a professional writer. Finding a skilled proposal writer is an option that could assist you with putting together the proposal. Also, we have small business development centers. They provide services such as counseling, training for small businesses, also a helpful tool. Well, next we have operating in an airport. It could be costly and then expensive. Build outs at O'Hare run about $1,500 to $2,500 per square foot, with an average right now about $1,700 per square foot. Labor costs, they're often higher to attract employees to work in airport space. Number one, you need people that will qualify for these security badges. And also number two, that are willing to travel to the airport each day. Hours of operations are longer than on the street often from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Concessions operate 365 days a year. That's something to think about. There's also logistical considerations for your goods, who will be delivering them and how often during the week. Other airport costs include sales reporting requirements, sales audit requirements, badging, and employee parking. So next, we have it broken down on how different options to operate and participate in the airport. Companies have several ways to operate as a concessionaire. We have number one, you can operate as a single operator, and this is where you are able to lease space directly from the airport. Option number two is called a joint venture. This is where a company forms a partnership with another company to lease and operate a concession. Option number three, you operate as a subtenant. So your company leases from a larger concessionaire and operates as their subtenant. Next steps is you will need to determine how you would operate. So you could operate under a franchise agreement with companies such as a McDonald's or a Dunkin'. You could also enter into a license agreement with brands such as Frontera Grill, Harry Carey's, or Republican. Or you could operate as a regional or local brand, where you bring a kind of like a neighborhood favorite to the airport, such as Billy Goat Tavern, Nuts on Clark, Garrett's, or Berghoff. Another option, you can operate as your own unique concept or brand that exists only in the airport, such as our Ice Bar or the Chicago Cubs Bar and Grill. And next, I'll pass it over to Davron Boyd, who will cover responding to an RFP.
Thank you, Daniel. My name is Davron Boyd, and I will be talking to you all about responding to an RFP. The RFP process is where we'll start. The timeframe for RFP issuance to concession opening is long and may take up to 1.5 to 2 years. First, the CDA issues a request for proposal or RFP. Respondents submit proposals. After CDA evaluates responses through a selection committee and selects the concessionaire. Selected concessionaire and CDA then will finalize the lease. After that, CDA obtains approval from City Council. The concessionaire will submit designs and construction plans for review and approval. After that, the concessionaire completes construction and opens up for business. Here are the general elements of a proposal. You have your cover/transmittal letter, experience and qualification statement, methods of management and operations. Then you have your concessions development proposals, your store and concept design, your compensation to the city, projected sales, net income and cash flow, and also capital investing and financing plan. You will also submit your ACDBE participation plan, professional references, exceptions, the executed proposal affidavit, business information statement, as well as your financial statements. Make sure you read the RFP for other specific requirements. Next, you will attend the pre-proposal meeting and tours. Shortly after release of any RFP, CDA will hold a pre-proposal meeting, and all interested respondents should make sure to attend. Names and contact information of pre-proposal meeting attendees will be posted in the data room. Take advantage of attending any tours, whether in person or virtual. At the tour, bring a printout of the airport's terminals to reference and make notes on. Take notes and photos. You may not have another opportunity like this, and include another set of eyes and ears if allowed. Review the RFP. Read the RFP and compare notes with your advisors on all requirements and addendums. Pay special attention to the minimum qualifications, which are experience, minimum sales history, financial capability, and your ACDBE plan. Make sure you understand the type of concession CDA is seeking. The RFP data room is an online resource where all of the related RFP documents, forms, surveys, statistics, etc. are located. Memorialize key dates and times. Note that these may change, so keep up on all web alerts related to the RFP and check the data room for addenda. Ask questions for clarification on anything you don't understand or on which you want additional information. Don't assume anything, please ask and follow directions in the RFP on the timing and format for questions. And last but not least, provide CDA what it is requesting. Your proposal should address exactly what the RFP is looking for, what is the concept, the menu/retail offerings, design, and rent proposal. Provide all the information requested in the RFP. Make sure you fill out all of the forms. Please don't forget any signatures or overlook the evaluation criteria. Identify the criteria on which the selection committee is evaluating. Think like the airport. What works on the street may not translate well to the airport. And last but not least, make sure you carefully read the RFP to address any other requirements. Thank you, and I will now hand it over to my colleague, Adam Cheeks.
Thanks, Davin. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to elaborate on a few things. When creating your proposals, make sure that you clearly articulate your proposal. Take the opportunity to highlight your business's strengths. You know your brand inside and out, but your audience may not. So provide some specific examples to support what you're saying and try to avoid vague statements. Don't hesitate to market yourself. Share relevant data, statistics, awards, honors. Have you won any awards? Have you been mentioned in a magazine for top restaurants? Put it in the proposal. Keep in mind that this is your chance to promote both your concept and your ability to execute it. Be concise, straightforward, and avoid any unnecessary embellishments. We also suggest that you steer clear of slang or jargon that might confuse your audience, but incorporate just enough industry language to demonstrate your expertise. It's important to discuss how your proposal would effectively function within the airport environment. And make sure that you carefully read the RFP to address any and all other requirements. As you present your concept for a public facility, keep these key principles in mind. Sustainability, diversity, and accessibility are essential elements that must be woven into your proposal. Emphasize why your proposal is the best choice for both the city of Chicago and the airport. Consider what unique offerings you can bring to this environment. Do you have a signature drink? Do you have a standout menu or distinctive retail product that you're known for? Highlight that and what differentiates your proposal from others. What makes it the ideal selection over competing ideas? What separates you from another business similar to yours? Remember, don't assume your audience shares your knowledge. You understand your proposal best, so be sure to explain it clearly and thoroughly. And make sure that you carefully read the RFP and address any and all of the requirements. Convey flexibility. Use your words, images, and passion to convey your enthusiasm for your proposal. Discuss how your concept addresses the diverse needs of the airport and its various travelers. Consider the different generations and their preferences. Cater to various types of travelers, whether that's business, leisure, families. Address important issues such as accessibility, food allergies, and dietary preferences. Highlight how your proposal will remain relevant and appealing over time, focusing on design and physical appearance that enhance the environment, and menu items that are both innovative and adaptable. Emphasize your ability to adapt to changing passengers' needs and industry trends. Showcase how technology can be leveraged to provide an enhanced customer experience. And finally, and most importantly, make sure you read the RFP to address any other requirements. Now, I'd like to pass it over to my colleague, Mary Gallagher.
Thank you, Adam. My colleagues have given you an overview of how our RFP process works here. I'm here to give you additional resources to help you. They've named all these resources as they spoke earlier, but this is directly how you get this information. All resources end up at flychicago.com, concessions resources. At that location, you will find a copy of any current RFPs, how to become ACDB certified, sign up for web alerts so you're prepared for any other additional RFPs coming out in the near future. See previous presentations on how to do everything my colleagues just told you that you need to include in your RFP. An overview of all of our concessions and small business resources. Key information you're looking for there is to do at this site is first sign up for web alerts. Second, proposals after posting, are typically due 90 days after posting. Watch those dates on there. We've currently had a pre-proposal meeting. Please keep on flychicago.com, this site, in case there's any other meetings. See the deadlines and any questions. We have already passed the question deadline for Fly Chicago, but we will accept questions until the end. We are asking you to submit those questions to cdaconcessions@cityofchicago.org, and we'll have that in the chat also. And provide it. The last thing is I'm giving you the industry resources everyone spoke about. Earlier, Daniel told you about the AMAC, Airport AX as he called it, and the Airport Council International. Additionally, we have city resources, the City of Chicago. That site is full of information. The Department of Procurement Services will help you whittle down for further information. The Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protections, BCAP, which are hosting us, is full of information. The last thing I really want to push, it's not on here, is to hit the small business service community, the Women's Business Development Center, the Black Chamber of Commerce. They too will be able to help you. I am now going to return it back to our Assistant Commissioner.
Well, thank you, everybody, for your time. We're gonna open up the floor to comments and questions. DPS, do you have anything you want us to repeat?
It looks like, did you get the question in the Q&A box?
Can you read the boards? So the deck will be posted on our website along DPS YouTube page. You can view it at your leisure later. BACP.
Here's one in the Q&A box. My question is, I have a food truck. I want to sell food in Midway or O'Hare Airport. Where can I start?
Will we allow food trucks in certain areas? That information can be done by reaching out to the concessions questions website, and it will be uploaded to the right personnel.
Just a lot of thank you. You all still have time to get your questions in. Please do so. Put them in the chat.
So BACP, there's a question about when will it be placed on YouTube?
By Friday. When starting a store in the airport, do you have a specific vendor we have to use?
So effectively, CDA is the landlord. Once we sign a lease and you agree to certain type of food or retail products or services you provide, it's up to you to secure your own best practice, best price vendors to service your business that allow you to maximize your profit, but provide the services or products that you guarantee CDA that you would.
As a small business who wants to be a part of the food court in O'Hare, who can I partner with to get this done? Since small minority-owned businesses like mine, was moving around, don't have millions in investment capital.
So as mentioned during this presentation, there are several ways as a sub or as a joint venture, you can partner with some other companies that are interested. I would go to the resource page, look under attendees at the pre-bid meeting, because everybody there signed in, and see if there are businesses there that you can partner with. and reach out to them and see if they're interested in your brand or your concept as part of what they want to propose for this RFP.
Does this apply for kiosks as well as stores inside the airport?
Our process applies to every food, beverage, retail, and service opportunity in both O'Hare and Midway. The process does not change. That's why this presentation is general for any RFP. The process remains the same. So to make it fair to everyone, there's always an RFP offer, and that offering is open to the public.
Is there a map of the available concession spaces?
So there are several maps. You can go to the www.Fly Chicago website and see maps for all locations at both O'Hare and Midway, or you can actually go on an RFP that was just put out, or order up RFP, and you can see the concessions locations that are in that RFP if you go to the concessions resource page.
I see that the partnership question is coming up again. Could you repeat that information, please? That's how people can partner with other people
So,
interested in meet at the
There
airport.
was a pre-bid meeting a few weeks back after we initiated the RFP. There is a list of all attendees that were at that pre-bid meeting. So those were people that were interested enough to come out and hear our presentation and talk and network. Again, it's a network opportunity we try to provide so that people can get together. You can look at that list of attendees and reach out to them. I think there's email addresses provided for every attendee. And you can reach out and propose your business option as either a joint venture, a license, or a subtenant, and see if they're interested.
The link for the access to the concessions resource page has been posted in the chat.
Yes, resources posted in chat. www.flychicago.com/concession resources.
I see a question here. How can I find a RFP writer? I would suggest reaching out to Access to Capital. But I'm sorry. I can't even think of the name of the organization. SCORE. They have people there to help with things like this. And there is a Allies to Business. I can put those links in the chat.
Thank you.
And you can
There
also
are no
check
more.
the Neighborhood Business Development Center. Thank you, Steve.
The Small Business Administration probably has some resources as well.
Are there any current expansion plans or opportunities in Midway, like in O'Hare?
So we're always expanding, but currently our concession program is developed at Midway. And there isn't much going on in regards to RFP in the near future, but there's always expansion going on, there's always opportunities. Best way to find out is to always sign up for web alerts when you go to our website, and then you will be sent an email whenever an opportunity is available for the public to be a part of.
We still have time. Please put your questions in the chat box. In your opinion, how long is the entire process? And when is the deadline to apply?
So each RFP will have very specific dates and times, as mentioned during the presentation, for you to follow. So for the current RFP, those things are listed in the data room for the RFP and the resource page. But every RFP will have a different timeline and date based on what's being asked for by the city of Chicago. My best advice is to read the RFP once you're aware of it, and read it completely and seek help with advisors to understand what's due, when it's due, and what needs to be submitted.
This webinar was recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Chicago BACP.
Thank you guys for your time. Hopefully gave you some information that's useful, and maybe in the future, we'll see you at our airports, either in Midway or Harrah. Have a great day.
Thank you to the Department of Aviation for today's presentation. If you are a part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program, your account will automatically reflect your attendance for today. To learn more about our upcoming webinars, please visit chicago.gov/BACP webinar. To earn a certificate, you must enroll in the program. That website is chicago.gov/BACP certificate. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.